Walk into almost any dispensary in America right now, and you will find it on the menu. Pineapple Express. It is one of the best-selling, most recognized weed names on earth. But here is the thing nobody tells you. That strain was not dreamed up by a grower in a backyard or some breeder in Amsterdam. It was born from a movie, a 2008 comedy that slapped the name on a fake bag of weed, and in doing so, accidentally created one of the most famous strains that has ever existed. So let's rewind to the beginning, because before we get to the movie, you've got to understand the weed Pineapple Express is a 60% sativa, 40% indica hybrid. It is usually listed as a cross between two heavy hitters, Trainwreck and Hawaiian. Trainwreck brings a fast, racing, almost electric head high, and Hawaiian brings that sweet, tropical fruitiness. Put the two together and you get exactly what the name promises. It smells like citrus and ripe pineapple, with hints of mango and a sharp pine edge underneath it all. This aroma is driven by dominant terpenes like myrcene and limonene. The high is energetic and upbeat, the kind of thing people smoke during the day to actually get stuff done. The THC levels usually land somewhere in the high teens to low 20s, with minimal CBD content. People loved it. So you'd think a strain this popular would have some long, storied history behind the name. But it doesn't. It actually traces back to one single movie. Pineapple Express. It's a 2008 comedy that basically revolves around the strain. It starred Seth Rogen and James Franco. It was a massive hit, pulling in over $100 million worldwide, and it made the name Pineapple Express famous overnight. But here's what almost nobody watching it knew. When that movie blew up, everybody started showing up to dispensaries asking for Pineapple Express. But there was a problem. The strain didn't actually exist yet. It wasn't a thing before the movie came out. They just made the name up. And they did not even pull it out of thin air, because Pineapple Express was already a real weather term. It is an atmospheric river that scoops up warm tropical moisture near Hawaii and dumps it as heavy rain down on the West Coast. Rogen and Goldberg grew up in the Pacific Northwest, where that storm hits, so the name was just floating around in their heads. Rogen even said that while they were writing the script, the running joke was that if one day they walked into a weed shop and somebody was actually selling Pineapple Express, then they would know it worked. Now, you will see some growers and seed companies claim they had a Pineapple Express before the film, usually one called G13 Labs. But there is no real proof of it. No record of the name being sold anywhere before 2008. And even the search history for the term shows that basically nobody was looking it up as weed until the movie's marketing started rolling out. So as far as anyone can actually document, the movie came first. And once it did, the entire weed world basically raced to catch up. All of a sudden, there was massive demand for a strain that, technically, nobody had even made yet. So growers got to work building it, and that is where the real Pineapple Express comes from. The Trainwreck and Hawaiian cross we talked about earlier, created to live up to the legendary stuff in the film. California medical marijuana dispensaries and the West Coast cannabis market were especially eager to stock it. A bunch of different breeders made their own version of it, which is actually the reason you will find so many slightly different Pineapple Express genetics floating around today. And it is a wild thing to sit and think about. A fake strain in a movie was so convincing that it forced a real one into existence. That is life imitating art in the most stoner way possible. And it stuck. Today, Pineapple Express is everywhere. It's a permanent fixture on dispensary menus. It sits right up there with legends like OG Kush, Sour Diesel, and Blue Dream as one of the most recognized strain names on the planet. and it spun off a whole family of tropical relatives like pineapple Trainwreck, pineapple Kush, and pineapple OG. But what really makes it special is how it got there. Almost every legendary strain earned its name slowly through cannabis culture, passed around for years. Pineapple Express is one of the only ones that got its name straight from Hollywood. And honestly, it was ahead of its time because it proved something the entire legal weed industry runs on today, that a great name and a good story can matter just as much as how strong the weed actually is. So the next time you see Pineapple Express sitting on a menu, just remember, you're looking at a strain that basically started out as a punchline. A made-up name, borrowed from a rainstorm, dropped into a comedy as a joke, that somehow ended up becoming one of the most famous strains in the world. The movie bet that if people ever started selling it for real, they would know it worked. Turns out, they were right. So what about you? Have you ever tried Pineapple Express? And does it actually live up to the hype? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this one, do me a favor and hit that like button. Subscribe for more deep dives like this one, and I'll catch you all in the next one.